The film begins in Mexico. Colonel John Hannibal Smith is held captive by two corrupt Mexican officers working for the renegade General Tuco. Hannibal has been beaten and tied up, left for dead inside a rundown shack. The two officers mock him, leading him to be eaten alive by two vicious guard dogs. But Hannibal, always calm under pressure, escapes using a hidden nail and a trick with his handcuffs. Nearby, Templeton Faceman Peck is also being held by Tuco at his private ranch. Face had seduced Tuco's wife, and the furious general plans to execute him. As Face tries to talk his way out, Hannibal races to the ranch, enlisting help from a local mechanic and former ranger, Bosco B.A. Baracus. Hannibal convinces B.A. to help by appealing to his military pride and promising justice. Together, they drive to Tuco's ranch in B.A.'s heavily modified GMC van. Hannibal and B.A. break into the compound, engaging Tuco's men in a chaotic firefight. Hannibal reaches Face just before he's burned alive, and the two exchange sharp banter as they fight off the guards. The three men escape the ranch, pursued by Tuco and his army. They drive across the desert toward a nearby army hospital where Hannibal plans to recruit one more man, H.M. Howling Mad Murdoch, an unhinged but brilliant pilot. At the hospital, Murdoch is pretending to perform surgery on a fellow patient when Hannibal and Face arrive. They convince him to join, but before they can leave, Tuco's men close in. The teen steals a medical helicopter and takes off. A wild chase unfolds in the sky as Tuco follows in another chopper. Murdoch performs reckless maneuvers while Hannibal shoots back. Tuco's helicopter crosses into U.S. airspace and an F-22 Raptor intervenes, destroying it instantly. Hannibal's team lands safely on American soil. The men celebrate, and B.A. swears never to fly again after the terrifying ride. Hannibal smiles, satisfied that everything went according to plan. The story jumps forward 8 years. The A-Team has become an elite U.S. Army Special Forces unit, veterans of 80 successful missions. They're now stationed in Iraq. Hannibal remains the mastermind, Face the smooth talker, B.A. the muscle, and Murdoch their unhinged pilot. One day, Hannibal is approached by CIA operative Lynch. Lynch tells him that Iraqi insurgents have somehow acquired U.S. Treasury printing plates, which they are using to create counterfeit American dollars. He offers Hannibal a covert mission to recover the plates and over $1 billion in fake cash before it leaves Baghdad. At the same time, Captain Carissa Sosa from the Defense Criminal Investigative Service arrives at base. She warns the A-Team to stay out of it. She's Face's ex-girlfriend and still bitter about their past. Despite her warning, Hannibal sees the mission as an opportunity. Against General Morrison's orders, he accepts Lynch's deal, assuring his men that it's sanctioned, though unofficially. The team moves in. Under the cover of night, they infiltrate a heavily guarded compound. Using decoy explosions, they retrieve the plates and the counterfeit cash, engaging enemy insurgents in a brutal firefight. They barely escape aboard an armored truck and make their way back to base. The mission is a success. But everything goes wrong the moment they return. The shipping container carrying the recovered money explodes, and General Morrison's vehicle is blown apart. The A-Team watches in shock as their base goes up in flames. The private security firm Black Forest, led by Brock Pike, ambushes them and destroys all proof that the mission was authorized. With Morrison dead, the operation appears rogue. The U.S. military arrests the A-Team for treason, theft, and illegal black ops activity. Despite their protests, the men are dishonorably discharged and sentenced to 10 years in federal prison. Hannibal ends up in a maximum security cell. Face is locked up in a military prison. B.A. is chained on a transport bus, and Murdoch is committed to a psychiatric hospital in Germany. 6 months later, Lynch visits Hannibal in prison. He tells him that Pike has resurfaced and might be trying to sell the plates on the black market with an unknown Arab buyer. Hannibal has already been secretly tracking Pike. He strikes a deal with Lynch. He'll retrieve the plates in exchange for a full pardon for himself and his team. Lynch agrees. Hannibal stages his escape. Lynch smuggles him a drug-laced cigar that makes Hannibal appear to die of a heart attack. Once declared dead, Hannibal wakes up in the morgue, knocks out the attendant, and walks out disguised as a corpse delivery man. His next target is Face. Face is lounging in a tanning bed in another prison, still maintaining his charm. Hannibal sneaks in dressed as a removal worker and steals the tanning bed, with Face still inside. When Face realizes who it is, he grins and says he knew Hannibal wouldn't stay locked up forever. Next, the two rescue B.A. by intercepting his prison transport. They use the van to tear the bus doors off and free him. B.A. is furious at first. He's been trying to go straight. but eventually joins when Hannibal promises redemption. Finally, they break Murdoch out of a German psychiatric hospital. To distract the staff, they project a fake 3D movie in the ward while crashing their van straight through the wall to reach Murdoch. The pilot gleefully joins, joking that he's been expecting them. The reunited A-Team heads to a nearby US base and steals a cargo plane to leave the country. But Sosa is already on their trail. She believes they're working with Pike and orders drone jets to take them down. As the team escapes in the massive Lockheed Martin C-130 Hercules, 2 drone jets attack. The plane is hit and explodes mid-air. But inside the wreckage is a tank the team had loaded earlier. They deploy parachutes and drop in the tank, using the main gun to shoot at the ground and control their descent. They crash into a lake and survive. On the ground, they locate Pike in Berlin. He's meeting with the mysterious Arab buyer in an office tower. The team launches an assault, crashing through the windows in a daring firefight. Pike's men are defeated, and the team captures both the plates and the so-called Arab financier. But then comes the twist. The Arab is actually General Morrison, alive and in disguise. Morrison admits he faked his death and was working with Lynch and Pike all along. They stole the plates together, but Morrison tried to double-cross Lynch. Now, everyone wants the plates for themselves. Before the team can process the betrayal, Lynch orders an airstrike to wipe them out. Explosions tear through the building and kills Morrison instantly. With no allies left, the A-Team goes underground. Face develops a bold plan to expose Lynch and clear their names. Hannibal contacts Sosa, telling him he'll hand over the plates at Morrison at the Los Angeles docks, knowing Lynch is listening in. Secretly, Face gives Sosa another phone not tapped by Lynch. At the docks, Lynch prepares a full-scale ambush, recruiting Pike and his Black Forest team to ensure Hannibal's capture. But Face has anticipated every move. The A-Team stirred up fake cargo containers, decoy explosives, and hidden snipers to divide Lynch's forces. The operation unfolds like clockwork, until Pike fires a rocket at the main ship, causing a massive explosion. Chaos erupts across the docks. Amid the gunfire, BA faces Pike in a brutal hand-to-hand fight. Pike taunts him, but BA overpowers and kills him. Meanwhile, Lynch corners Hannibal in what he thinks is General Morrison. He shoots the hooded man in the head, only to realize moments later that it's not Morrison, it's Murdoch, wearing a Kevlar-lined helmet playing decoy. Hannibal attacks Lynch and the two brawl inside a shipping container. Hannibal gains the upper hand just as the entire container is hoisted into the air by a crane. As it rises, the doors open to reveal Sosa and a squad of federal agents with weapons drawn. The A-Team's trap is complete. Lynch and his remaining men are taken into custody by the CIA. The plates are recovered and their innocence is finally proven. But the victory is short-lived. Despite saving the day, the military arrests the team again, this time for escaping federal prison. As they're loaded into the prison van, Sosa promises to fight for their release. Before Face is taken away, she kisses him goodbye, secretly slipping him a small key. Inside the van, the men joke about their situation. Hannibal smiles knowingly, and Face reveals the key in his mouth, the one Sosa gave him. He grins and says Hannibal's famous line,
"I love it when a plan comes together."
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe and tap the bell icon so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.